Guys, good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 21 of Pro Bono's live podcast. Uh, First of all the audience members, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. And Aditya and Mr. Sen, welcome to you guys, both of you. And of course, most importantly, Payal ji, Miss Payal Gill, thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome. First of all, guys, मैं introduce कर देता हूँ. See, Payal ji is the Vice President of Global Transformation at Barclays in Pune. She also loves to travel and she's a trained musician. She's trained in music and she's been a solo traveler for more than 14 years. And we were having this discussion before we went live and we were talking about the different adventures she had and all the cities she's visited. Abhi bhi bahut sare hai. We were even discussing about that. So she said she wants to go to all those places as well. Since 2001 she's worked at Motorola and then moved on to Citibank and then she settled in Barclays. She's a core banking and excuse me, she's a core banking and banking retail and corporate expert, and recently she's moved on from corporate banking to investment banking. मैं सच बताऊँ इसमें आधा टर्मिनोलॉजी मुझे पता भी नहीं है, which is why I'm in the education business. Firstly, I guess Payal ji, you would be better equipped at introducing yourself. So over to you. Thank you so much for being with us today, by the way. And over to you. If you could please introduce yourself, and also address the audience.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Firstly, to Aditya, Pro Bono, and also to Saman. That was a very lovely introduction. And also to Mr. Sen. Thank you for the lovely chat earlier about all the travels. You've actually increased my, adventure, adrenaline rush more after discussions with you. I'm going to make a note of all the locations, like I said. Hi, everybody, and good evening. And, I know we are amidst a very huge global crisis, but this session was really important. Obviously, the show must go on, whether we are sitting at home and still, but we need to absolutely move on with what we need to achieve here. So I'm Payal Gill. I think most of my introduction is already done. I would talk about my passions, which is travel and music, and obviously the third one is people. I think I've the guys were actually asking me if how am I going to think about this experience, but I absolutely love connecting with people, so this is going to be a blast for me, and I hope you all enjoy as much as I do. So thank you for the warm welcome, and let's begin.
Guys, आज के discussion के लिए sorry from my mic if you find any kind of banging and drilling and all. थोड़ा काम चल रहा है पीछे. There's nothing I can do. They came exactly when we started going live, so that's just something you have to deal with it, I guess.
So working on a lockdown, I have a question. The first question will come from me. How come you're getting people to work for you on a lockdown? I'm not even getting somebody to hook up my Wi-Fi on a lockdown. Can you please advise on this?
Yes.
City are you sitting in?
So by the way, guys, the thing is, the village I stay in, it's a village, but it's like slowly growing because of the university, right beside the village. So it's completely closed down. The village, nobody is going to go out, nobody is going to come in. So like everybody inside the village, we are still, we are not working, but there are still people moving around. It's just like a family business, So everybody knows everyone personally. It's not like we are hiring them to get some work done. They're just helping out with a few stuff because of the washing machine that broke down.
ज़्यादा defensive हो गया यार, ठीक है चलेगा.
No, I'm trying to give a genuine answer.
No, so not everybody is lucky. That's my first genuine feeling after listening to your answer.
So firstly, Payal ji, you're working at Barclays. You've worked over 12 years with Barclays now, and you're currently the Vice President of Global Transformation. So how did you get into this particular field, and how has your journey been so far?
Absolutely, right. I mean, I was very... in fact, I was in between a lot of jobs even when I was a teenager, really. So if you ever talk about the journey, the journey is not just what is written on paper. The journey starts far back, actually, because it was an unofficial thing. I didn't really mention it on paper, but, I've been working since a very, 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 very long time now. And I'm fiercely independent, obviously. So I always wanted to, buy something luxurious like a lipstick with my money, sort of a thing. So that was always in my head. And I felt it was a waste of money for my parents to actually, take care of my luxurious requirements. And hence, I think I just got into some teaching related stuff, teaching small children, etc. I did. So I'm actually a certified KJ and Montessori teacher as well. I can actually open my own school, etc. So I started with that. I got certified. I learned child psychology. Got into the whole game. Equipped myself for the future and everything, and then started taking some classes. When I moved further, when they felt that I can do more, then I started teaching college children later. So I was doing I was a teacher for economics and accounts for many, many years, actually, for these coaching classes. I'm sure everybody, all of us have sort of gone to coaching classes in once at least in our life. So I used to teach for those coaching classes. I used to teach computers and computer classes, a lot of stuff, right? So counseling and everything. So that's actually where I started my journey from. And then obviously education is certainly important. We can't really get anywhere without it. So the biggest stepping stone was to finish my education. I'm actually a commerce economics person. I majored in economics and advertising, actually. So then, and obviously finance. So then I moved on to Motorola. We started as a quality analyst and analysis of all the complaints. So if anybody knows, people who are born after the 90s will not know this, but there was something known as a pager.
Yeah, right.
There was something known as a pager that used to be prevalent in the olden times,
Okay,
and Motorola pagers.
For your information, the pager is very active.
Yeah.
It is very active. It is used by the doctors and the nurses.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not sure the millennials know it, so I was just introducing the pager.
By the way, Mr. Sen, why do they use it?
If they are on, then they might not know what the hell a pager is. So it's like a small instrument, guys. Motorola has been the largest manufacturer of those. So they had an office in Mumbai, in Andheri East. That's where I officially got my first corporate job, where I got an offer letter, I got all the, the folder and the picture and the ID and all of that stuff. So officially my entry in the corporate world was about 19 plus years ago. So I think 19 years, 10 months are done already. So that's the time. And 2 years I worked with them. Obviously there, we have to move roles. So you're first basically talking to customers personally, you're talking to them on the phone. They see your inclination, move you to another department. So they saw my inclination about business analysis a lot in that role. So they moved me to, and analyzing all customer complaints. So that's how the whole analysis bit in me invoked, suddenly. And then one fine day, suddenly I get a call from a friend saying, you know what, Citibank is recruiting and they're taking this test. You need to actually get into the test. If you do pass that test, that they might consider you for an interview. I said, okay, I just went in the whole fun of it to just say, एक और CET दे देते हैं, या एक और GMAT दे देंगे, कोई बात नहीं. So that kind of a test. That's how I sort of got, things just went on. One thing led to another. Got into Citibank. Thankfully, I was given a very junior role because I was very, very young, obviously. It was from a scratch that I was starting. But the field that I got into was extremely interesting. I was entrusted with payments and banking, which is intriguing because, I used to do a lot of bank work for my father as a child. So there was a lot of and DMAT forms, if you know, the DMAT forms used to be also physical in the past. Everything was physical. So you used to actually go submit that physically. Now everything is online. That just makes me such a purane zamane ka insan, but, I really cherish that. So obviously I got inclined to it. I got a very fantastic project. The break that I got there was fantastic. I got entrusted with a lot of responsibilities in terms of, coaching members about payments and creating decks, which were like 400 pages. And so while doing that, right, I researched so much about it and actually I got to learn so much, that in the end, I sort of, one thing led to another again, the ladder of, I wouldn't say success, but the ladder of moving from one role to another sort of continued. I stayed there for more than 6 years, actually. So Citibank is like my mothership, if I may say so. Whatever I have learned with regards to banking applications, payments, leading people, or anything regards to leadership, the first stepping stone was Citibank. So obviously I want to thank my organization for that. That's like a mothership for me. And then obviously one fine day I got a call for my next organization because they saw that I was an SME at this particular thing, and they had a specific role for me to be a subject matter expert for payments and banking. And so that's how I, got into Barclays and never looked back. It's been 12 plus years and I'm still here. So obviously it's a great place to be in. And that's where I am today. Today, my role is part in investment banking. So there was corporate banking, now investment banking, very, very different monsters, right? So corporate and investment banking are two very, very different places. Even though they are banking, like हाथ की 5 उंगलियां same नहीं हो सकती है, banking की भी उंगलियां same नहीं हो सकती है. So I think every organization is a different monster. Similarly, these two areas are completely different. I wanted to push my boundaries, not kind of get pigeonholed in the same place. So I said, you know what, let me just try a new thing. Again, thankfully, I was entrusted with a very fantastic role, again, in a field I didn't know anything about as much as I should have. But I picked it up on the job, learned it, and, obviously now it's been like 4 years, and again, never looked back at investment banking. And it's a part of this finance treasury stuff. So that's what I do today. And it's very exciting, and looking forward to new and more bigger challenges on my way. So that's where I am today.
Payalji, thank you so much for sharing your story. Before you got into Motorola, I guess that's where you said you started off your actual, professional career. So before that, were you pursuing, what degree did you pursue? What were you studying? Did you study commerce and in that field, or did you make a move later on?
Right. So I didn't move anything. I was very sure about what I wanted to do. Thankfully, in the beginning, when you're watching all of these things on television, like National Geographic and Discovery Planet and all of that, you want to become a botanist or you want to become a microbiologist. And, as a child, that's exactly what I wanted to be. I must be honest about this. मुझे फूल पत्ती का डॉक्टर बनना था. Everybody would have seen the movie चुपके चुपके. Sorry if people have not seen it, but it was one of the classics by Hrishikesh Mukherjee, which has Parimal Tripathi. I wanted to be Parimal Tripathi. I was so influenced by that character that I felt कि मुझे घास फूस का डॉक्टर बनना है. And my father sat me down and said, beta, you're going to be buried in books and you're very culturally inclined, and how are you going to do your other activities if you do this, and you might not get a job later. You know how parents are, right? And in 1990s, I mean, who knows क्या करना है. So there was lack of guidance in terms of what we have today in terms of mentoring. You guys are really so lucky. Whoever is watching this is because there is so much to learn from what others would have not done in their past. You can actually learn from those lessons learned and think of your careers from the very beginning and very start, and actually start working towards that in a very early age. So when I finished my 10th, my father sat me down and said, don't take medical. I mean, he just sort of brainwashed me, I would say, but he did guide me. Obviously, he knew my inclinations were very different. So he said, I really want you to be a professor. And, I said, I'll be a professor if I become a botanist as well. But he just I couldn't convince him very well at that time. I was very petite at that time. Still, I hope I still am, but I just couldn't, convince my father. And he convinced me, and he sort of guided me, and he said that, take commerce, you're going to be really good at it. And I think he was right. Obviously, there are zero regrets about that. So I have majored in economics. I actually have a trophy for the highest ranking in the university for export marketing and advertising, really. So somehow I discovered that I can excel in that area. It just happened. I got inclined, wonderful professors, obviously, in my college. I'm from Mumbai, by the way, Mumbai, and great cultural and great educational balance that Mitibai has. I'm really lucky and very privileged to have been part of that institution. So hats off and big shout out to my fantastic institutions, both school and colleges, and everyone who supported me. After that, I did pursue MBA, and again, I wanted to do it in HR. Like I said, I love connecting to people. I love anything to do with people stuff. So first I pursued it in HR, and then I actually had to move it to finance, because then, that seemed like a good option at that point of time. It was the year 1999, 2000, long time ago. So I tried to finish that, I finished that, and then tried to do some other executive, transformational leadership stuff now, but COVID is upon us, and so I couldn't really pursue it. So my next plan was to actually do another executive program. I don't want to stop learning, so I want to continue, growing. It doesn't mean that, when you are so old in the industry, you have to just keep doing what you're doing all the time. I think it's really important to rediscover what you might be good at. You never know. And my role, thankfully, was about transformation. So I felt it made sense to actually get into the field and know better and formally get trained, for it. So that was my future plans, and that's my existing, what's going on with regards to the educational background. Love studying, by the way. I'm a bookworm.
Actually, we were talking about this before the stream as well. Payal ji said she watched yesterday's and day before yesterday's stream, and the audience were asking about the guest favorite books, and there you go. So she wanted to be ready if anyone asked me what's my favorite book, like do you recommend any? So she was like, I'm gonna keep the books ready. I don't want to forget anything.
Exactly. It's really embarrassing. Yesterday, I actually forgot one of the authors, and I was like, okay, this small book, and it was really embarrassing. I just didn't want to do that again today, so I was ready with whatever it was.
Great. So, किसी को book के suggestions चाहिए? If anyone wants to go down that road, बिल्कुल ask us any question regarding that.
Yes.
She is well prepared, by the way. I'm not saying. Firstly, let me welcome all the audience members who are here. Firstly, those who aren't commenting, welcome to you guys. And we have Navdeep Desar, Krishna, Anita ji, Shikha ji, Vinayak, Pushkar Das, and Nikita Karya. So firstly, before we get to the audience question, I guess I'll let Aditya ask his 2 questions. Aditya, 2 questions. So specific quota, आज के लिए, very specific quota.
Be kind,
Thank
okay?
you so much.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So Samant assigns me my quota. So I'll begin with an audience question, and this has come to us from Mr. Sendil Rajneesh, who is also our partner at We Learn Live. So he asks, "Hi Samant, Aditya, great work for hosting this podcast. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajneesh. I need to know, how does one differentiate corporate banking services from another bank when one pitches to corporates for bagging their corporate needs?"
No, I didn't hear the last part of the question, unfortunately. I think your voice just cracked out a bit.
Sure.
Sorry.
So I'll read it again.
Yeah.
I need to know, how does one differentiate corporate banking services from one bank to another bank when one pitches to corporates for bagging their corporate needs?
So, it depends on what you're pitching. So, what are you pitching? First, tell me that, and then I'll answer according to that. Because you can't really generalize stuff. It's very pro product. So, if you can tell me as an example, what were you trying to sell? Maybe I can help better or clearer.
So Rajneesh sir, if you're listening to this, probably if you can tell us, what kind of a corporate need are you specifically asking for, we'll definitely be able to answer this question. And my question is a bit more generalized, since I'm nowhere close to a banking expert. I think the biggest achievement I had related to banking was making my own account, or rather registering for it and getting a debit card. I think that's about it. So Payal mentioned her hobbies. So you have traveling as your hobby. You like to read books.
Yeah.
Traveling is a big one, and obviously fitness is another. So with that, obviously you are working in the finance sector. Now tell me, which is the most fulfilling part of your day? Is it your job, or is it when you pursue these hobbies, or when you pursue these hobbies during the month?
I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to answer this in multiple parts. But the first thing I want to say that there is one thing that I genuinely believe in, and I genuinely live by it. I don't know if my friends are on Facebook and they will actually agree. So guys, if you agree, just give a nudge on, and so that people can say, I'm not on Facebook, so I can't see what your responses are. But I think people who know me will definitely agree with this. I absolutely live every moment to the fullest. So whether I am reading a book, I am cooking some dessert, I am doing a yoga, I'm talking to you guys, I'm answering questions on Instagram, I'm doing my job, working from home, drinking my fabulous green tea on a friend's mug, whatever I'm doing, right? मैं पूरा मजा लेके अपना दिन spend करती हूँ. तो वो जो भी चीज है, I love every part of it, because I believe you need to celebrate this. We don't know when this is going to be back, and we don't know when it's going to go away. So I would say, just live in the moment, celebrate everything that you're doing. And you know what? The third part of the answer is that if I don't want to do something, I just don't do it, because I believe in doing it 100%. Then I just don't get into it if I don't want to do it at all. अगर करना है तो perfectly 100% करना है दिल लगा के, और अगर नहीं करना है तो फिर I ignore it. Then I just don't get into it at all.
Right.
I guess Aditya, during our initial podcast, we were talking about this, working for the sake of working versus, actually enjoying the work. So
Yeah.
I was telling कुछ भी कर मजा आना चाहिए, बस वही काफी है.
मजा आना चाहिए, बहुत सही बात है. या मजा ले लेना चाहिए, मतलब अगर मजा नहीं भी आ रहा है, you need to find ways to actually keep yourself totally pumped up about certain things, right? So everyone in their life, whether they are the beginning of their career or towards their 20, 30, whatever decades they've spent in the corporate world or otherwise, will be in a phase where they feel, अरे यार आज नहीं जाना है ऑफिस. सबके लाइफ में वो दिन आता है. Guys, let's accept it and move on, right? So the show has to go on. The thing is, either you do it with a smile or you do it with a frown. You rather do it with a smile, right? So I think everyone goes through that phase. We are humans at the end of the day, but it is about how you pick yourself up and then next day say, nahi yaar, theek hai. I'm going to do something really fantastic today. I think it's all in the mind, and it's a matter of actually conditioning yourself to actually enjoy it. It might be like really shitty work. I'm sorry for my friends, but it might be not that great, okay? But how you do it is more important than what you're doing and what is the impact you're making. So if you're making an impact even by doing a small thing, it doesn't matter. You still did something fabulous. How does it matter if it is a small thing? It doesn't matter at all.
Very true, and I think this is a great insight actually, which has dropped on this podcast. So I'll like to put a pin on that, like thinking about the impact you're making while you're doing any work. So this is, I think, very important because a lot of people from my generation or the generation younger to me. I don't think there are many generations younger to me, but yeah. So people mostly go to jobs to work and earn money. So that is one. So if you would ask any of your friends, whoever is working in the audience, if you ask your friends why are they working a job, probably most of the people are fighting for the family, trying to earn money. Obviously, that is a part of your career, but I think the more important part is that how much fun do you have while working on that thing, and how much of an impact you have. And I think both are very closely correlated. That if you have an impact, if you have a positive social impact while working, and it can be to any extent, it can be a small one or a big one, but if you see who is the end user or who is the end beneficiary of what you're doing, and if you see that the smile on his or her face is because of the small work or the big work that you did, I think your career will become a lot more fulfilling. So on the question of fulfilling, your career being fulfilling. So while I wanted to ask you, you said that, I live every moment to the fullest. And then you also said that you have to condition your mind to be happy whenever you're doing any task. How do you do that?
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to do these things. First of all, I did, so just I'll start with one thing. If you remember in the write-up, there is, I've mentioned my favorite quote. If you must have seen that, the last line, which I've mentioned, and I've written there that my favorite quote is, attitudes are contagious, is yours worth catching. I think it's really important that you spread that positive energy, everybody is so different. I mean, like I said, ek haath ki pancho fingers bhi do bhi common nahi hai. I think everybody is so different from one another. Some people might need that motivation or that zeal from someone else. And some people are just self-motivated. So I'm like the second category. मैं अपना ही, मैं self-motivated रहती हूँ. That's my nature. And I'm sure many of us are like that. But when I do see that there is someone that needs a little bit of a push, I just don't sit in my chair and say, "Arey yaar, main to motivated hu, mujhe kya karna hai, usko jo karna hai karne do." I don't do that. Actually, shake that person, right? So I think it's important to have such people in your life who actually push you to kind of say that why you down, or what's the problem, let's just get some energy back together. And I think that's one of the things I really love doing. It's not that I'm being obliged to do it. I genuinely like to do it. Aisa kuch nahi hai. Nobody tells me to do it. I just do it on my own. That is one way, but that's just natural. The second way I think is really important to keep yourself active. I think one of the things I've seen, right, is especially in this circumstance where we are locked down and we are at home, and yesterday when I was in Insta, we did talk about this bit as well, which was a little bit connected to fitness also. I think the less we sit in front of a television, or the less we sit in front of any negative news, negative serials, negative movies, or negative influences around you, I think it will just pump you up a little generally as well. So multiple ways to keep yourself pumped up is, if you are restless or not able to focus, meditation is the best way to focus. And when I say meditation, I'm not saying आप ऐसे भगवान की तरह ऐसे आंखें बंद करके बैठ जाइए. I'm not saying that. Actually, when your eyes are shut, it is more evident that you'll get more distracted because your eyes are shut. Because you'll feel you're sleeping, but that's not the point. You actually take a center point on the wall. So you take a red bulb, like a small bulb or whatever. Just make it like a focal point and stare at it. Trust me, your focus will increase. And I mean this. I have done this in real life. It helps a lot. So I think the active bit, right? So just eating, eat what you eat is what you are. Again, many people say this. You will feel a lot better when you eat things that you love and not starve yourself. So people say, how you stay, active, fit. पहली बात तो मैं उतनी fit नहीं हूँ. I have a long way to go to be fit. This is just like really not, I'm not fit, guys. So please don't get deceived by the Instagram and the pictures and all the filters. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I'm still working on myself and I'll continue working on myself till my last day. But I think eating the food that you really love is important. It's okay. You can eat less, right? So instead of, you like a cake, just eat one piece of cake. You don't have to eat the entire cake, but eat it. It's okay. I mean, don't starve yourself. I think half the time you're sad because, अरे यार, तेल वाला खा लिया, dessert खा लिया. दुखी मत रहो यार. Eat it. गोलगप्पे खा लिए, तो क्या हुआ? I don't understand. I think why people starve themselves. They don't stay active because of all these things only. Because you don't have energy, so you feel low. You don't feel active. And at the end of the day, it affects your mental anxiety. It gives you stress. And half the stress is self-created. That is also one of the very important reasons to not stay happy. So guys, I mean, really, बहुत सारे methods हैं. I mean, of course, you can connect with me later as well. But these are some things that I genuinely practice and I genuinely feel they work. If you're not self-motivated, talk to a friend who is, that can light up your life. It doesn't matter. Ask for help. You don't have to do everything alone. It's very important. What happens is, so Aditya, sorry for the longer version of the answer, but what happens is the reason why sometimes we are not very high on life is because we feel we'll do everything ourselves and we just not need support from everybody. Great. If you can do it yourself, great. I do most of my stuff myself. Okay. But I'm very pumped doing it. So it's okay. Like everybody might not be the same and we have to respect that difference, right? We have to respect each other's differences. So if somebody is not able to do something, help them. And guys, if you're not able to do something, ask for help. It's okay. You don't have to really be the Superman or the Superwoman. Everybody has this syndrome. They have this Superwoman syndrome. Especially women have the Superwoman syndrome. They feel, I'll do everything, I'm the, like the epitome, the alpha, the omega. No. Chill, man. It's okay. अगर लॉकडाउन में एक दिन झाड़ू नहीं मारा कुछ नहीं होता. Take that nap. Take that foot spa. Do a facial. Color your hair. Enjoy. It's okay. You don't have to follow everything and then blame yourself. I think आधे तो guilt से ही हम लोग restless हो जाते हैं, anxiety हो जाती है. This is all self-created. Plan your day. Just keep a small alarm, right? Just if you're vacuuming, for instance, if you don't have a maid now and you're vacuuming or you're doing jhadu pocha, एक alarm रखो. Like time yourself. Race against time. 20 minutes का alarm, 20 minutes ही मैं सफाई करूंगी. उसके बाद मैं आधा घंटा खाना बनाऊंगी. उसके बाद मैं आधा घंटा नैप लूंगी. हो गया. Balance your day. Don't get stressed. बाद में वापस 20 minutes का alarm लगा के बाकी झाड़ू मार लो यार. ठीक है. It's okay. Nobody is watching you guys. Relax.
Right. So those are a lot of insights, I think, and so I think you've got a lot of insights, all of you who are watching, that how to stay happy and how to stay motivated while you work. Meditate, eat right. I'm sure most of these things even I need to follow, so I won't take the high ground. Maybe Payal can, I can't. So stay fit, eat well, exercise, and don't stress yourself too much out. Don't blame yourself for too much. I think that is very important, and especially as entrepreneurs, I think we end up doing it a lot. कि आज ये नहीं हुआ, आज वो नहीं हुआ, ये वो पूरा दिमाग काम से भर दिया. So I think some of the advice actually is applying to me also. So I'll also follow that, and guys, you also follow it. So we'll end with a small, like not end, and as in I'll transfer to Samant after a small audience question. So Rajnish sir has actually said what he was asking. So he says that when Payal asked what is the kind of corporate need you're talking about, so he was saying, say working capital needs of a corporate. So I'll again read out the question. I need to know, how does one differentiate corporate banking services from one bank to another bank when one pitches to corporates for bagging the corporate needs like working capital needs of a corporate?
Okay, so I'm not very sure if I fully understood this, but I'll just try to answer it in how I understood it, and then you can tell me whether Rajni sir is happy with that answer. So how I understood it is that you are pitching for a working capital for your corporate to another corporate, and you want to understand how do you differentiate between one corporate to another corporate while you're pitching. Is that the question? Have I understood it correctly?
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, Rajni sir, you can let us know if this is the question. But I think, probably it's right, because even I have limited understanding about the corporate or the banking industry. So, if you have understood this, I'm assuming that it's right.
Yeah, so I'll start anyway, and then Rajni sir, please stop me, and then I'll stop blabbering whatever I'm blabbering. Okay. Mr. Sen is actually giggling. So I think to be honest, when we are newly getting into the corporate world, so Aditya, obviously you know this, you are pro bono at the end of the day, and all of your supporters, Samant and everyone will also might have faced this, that when you first go to somebody, they won't believe you. So the way you need to approach this is, they are not going to believe us. That's the first thing. Accept it and move on. Okay, so they're not going to believe you because you are asking money. It's so simple. किसी से पैसा लेने जा रहे हो, obviously you need to have your facts right, your numbers correctly. I think one of the things, obviously with time, when we move from very nascent roles to leadership roles, or are going towards more higher roles in life, you actually realize how important those numbers are. So for example, I think when you're pitching to somebody younger, or when you're pitching to somebody who is experienced, and this is not an offense thing for younger people, I'm just saying that over the years, when you build yourself, or when you see corporate life, you'll actually see that in a presentation of 20 slides, a person, if there's a panel of 4 people to whom you're pitching, and you have a person who is a director level person, 19-20 years of experience, and you have maybe his junior, like 15 years, they will look at it very differently. You know why? Because the experience in life and corporates is so different. So out of 20, trust me, we barely look at even 4. And I'm being honest. First, don't create more than 4 slides. And that's my honest request to anybody who is pitching anything in the whole world. It doesn't matter what you're pitching now. There are certain ground rules, okay? People who are at a higher post genuinely don't have time because they're struggling with back-to-back meetings. And let me just tell you, Aditya, I told you I was on a planned leave today, and hence we are chit-chatting so relaxed today. I'm actually on a holiday, and I'm doing this on my personal time, so I'm very chilled out. But, if it was a weekday, if my friends are on Facebook, they will agree with me that I don't answer their calls because they are irritated. She never answers our calls, and I call them back at really odd hours, because I'm free at really odd hours, So don't put too much masala in your presentation. Keep it very to the point. Simple. Objective mission statement. What's your vision? What do you plan to create? Your roadmap, the numbers and the money you want, and why. Compare your savings that you're going to do. Savings is a number one, happy thought for people like whoever is in the vice president director category. उनको देखना है कि कॉस्ट कैसे सेव हो रहा है हमारा यहाँ पे, या हमें क्या प्रॉफिट मिलने वाला है on both sides, right? So if you're saving cost, you need to show those savings, you need to show that profit, and you have to be very, very pragmatic about it as well. Don't overpromise, right? It's better to underpromise and deliver better than overpromise and not deliver at all. This is my personal quote. You can quote me on this, -PG written by me. So I really mean this. Like, don't overpromise stuff saying, "Arey, ye to ho jayega." Overconfidence is not going to take us anywhere, guys. People, when we are talking right now, we might sound very cool and bindas, but we have also learned with time, with a lot of experience, हमें भी बहुत मार पड़ी है. For doing the wrong presentations, for doing extremely long presentations, and I'm actually sort of saving a lot of effort here. Don't do 20 slides. 4 or 5 max, be to the point. Whatever your product is, it will get sold, trust me. And give pragmatic results in the numerics that you or the values that you're showing. It should be very cut to cut, really to the point. It's very, very important. So I would say that is the generic way to do it. Specifically, if Rajni has sent that, if the question was correctly understood, I can maybe drill down. But I think net, I would say that is how you have to approach it. Don't expect people to buy you, yaar. They won't. I mean, it's okay. You move on from one to the next one. And the next one might buy you. You don't know who is on that panel. You can't really say, ye corporate ne aisa kiya, dusre ne nahi kiya. Actually, we can't even badmouth any corporate because you don't know what their priorities as an organization are. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that you know which organization you're going to, understand their priorities, Google them, research about them, and only then approach it. I would say researching before approaching is supremely important. And it won't help you if you don't do enough research on a company or a corporate before actually asking them to be on board about anything, honestly.
And in fact, it works very well with people who are applying for a job also. So, many times I do small level hiring for my company. So people, so whenever I would ask, and this is a very big filter question, I think, why do you want to work with us? People would say, I want to work with a startup. I want to work with a startup because this, I want to work with a startup because that. I don't really want to know why you want to work with a startup. There are 10,000 other startups. You tell me why you want to work with ProBono. Because I am not interested in you as an employee, if you just want money. And probably, you won't also be interested in me or our company if we would just see you as a resource rather than, your individuality. Yes. So I think this matters a lot.
This is an amazing point, right, Aditya? Just to build on what you just quickly said, is about gauging the person's intentions in the first few minutes is a skill. It's an art, and I'm so proud of you for actually gauging that because, when you're interviewing somebody, you'll actually know whether the person is genuine or not. In the first few minutes, पता लग जाता है that आप इसको हायर करने वाले हो या नहीं हायर करने वाले हो, क्या ये आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के कल्चर में फिट होगा, फिट नहीं होगा, जो भी है, मतलब whatever are your priorities as an interviewer or the team or the role that you're hiring that person for, you will certainly know whether this person will fit well or not fit well. And that is a skill. Some people acquire it with time, but you've already sort of nailed it. So I'm really happy. Congrats to you on that. This is a very important one, actually.
Thank you so much, Payal. And Samant, do you have any audience questions coming our way?
I'm just waiting for you to finish your two questions. तो मैं 30 मिनट से वेट कर रहा था. Thank you so much. No, it's okay. I enjoy the discussion. इसीलिए मैं भी कुछ force नहीं कर रहा था. I was just sitting back and enjoying the discussion.
Thank you, Samant. That's so sweet of you. Sorry, stage is yours. Please take it away.
No, none of these streams are about me. It's all about the guests. मैं खाली enable कर रहा हूँ इसको. Okay, let me see. We have, by the way, audience, so sorry about the, we got your questions late. Usually 20-25 minutes के अंदर we get to that. So firstly, let me see. Guys, सारे questions तो नहीं हो पाएंगे. So I've picked out a few questions. So again मैं बोल रहा हूँ, don't see me as a villain. I'm just the messenger over here trying to deliver the questions to the guests. Firstly, there's Likith who asked, from pages to video call, how did you keep adapting to technological changes?
So there's a very old cliched saying, change is the only constant, and that's a fact. एक हिंदी में कहावत है कि जो टहनी थोड़ा सा झुकती नहीं है वो टूट जाती है जब तूफान आता है. तो when technology ka tufan aata hai, we all have to evolve and we all have to move on with it. And you can't be stringent about paging being there. Paging was there. It moved on. I moved on. You have to constantly keep on changing things. Now also, guys, to be honest, in technology, as we are speaking, there might be like 4 new softwares getting developed somewhere and we'll be like behind our times to learn them. Trust me, I have a list of 15 that I'm still supposed to learn. There's a long way to go. You need to keep yourself updated always. That's the only way you'll grow, actually. What was the name of the gentleman? I'm sorry, but that's the only way to grow, if you really want to move on in your career and you want to grow as a person, evolving yourself is extremely important. So there's no how really. Sometimes it is just circumstantial. It does take you from one field to another. And the field I am in definitely needs that. It's the need of my field, right? Even if you're in a different field, every advertisement will need, some innovation. We got Zoom. It's an innovative way of doing a video call. Even though we are all locked down at home, we are all connected. We are on Facebook. We are live here. We are live there, isn't it? So that's technology. And if you would not have adapted to it, I think, we would not be really talking to each other right now.
Great. Thank you so much. And then we have a question from Miss Anita ji. Obviously, this had to come up. Would you recommend any book for personal transformation?
Book for what? For?
Would you recommend any book for personal transformation?
So are you talking about emotional, mental, or physical transformation? There are two transformations and all are connected with each other. So what are you talking about?
I mean, there isn't specific mention, but I would say probably spiritual and, as a person, I guess.
Why don't we go for both, Payal?
Both? So to be honest, I'm unpacking my apartment. So I have this full 3 boxes full of books. I really love books. So I think the only one that I read, which might be called a transformation book, is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I think that's the only help book. I would not really call it a help book. It's a management book that I've read. But if you genuinely want to get inspired in terms of transformation, if that's what you mean, I've been liking Apurva Purohit's books very much. I've actually heard her in person. I've attended her events. I have her signed books with me as well. I've actually purchased all her books. There's a latest one called Lady, You're the Boss. So whether you're working or you're not working, it doesn't matter. This is a very wonderful book. I'm actually prepared with it. I'm putting it up on the screen. This is how it looks. You can download it on a Kindle. I actually even have it on Kindle. But because I wanted to show it to you guys, I've actually got the physical one with me here. And Twinkle Khanna books. The sass and the bindasiyat that she has, guys, really, it's entertaining. Self-help books, to be honest, Saman, this is just my view. Absolutely no offense to any author who writes self-help books. I find them very depressing, and this is just completely my view. I suggest stay as far as you can from them. I'd rather you talk to a friend or a guide or a philosopher or a mentor instead of actually sitting in a book and thinking you need help. Trust me, if you need help, you have so many people around you. Try to read books that are light-hearted. For me, that is definitely, trying to transform yourself. From what you feel to what you feel. Down, say up. Another one is this one. It's Pajamas Are Forgiving by Twinkle Khanna and Mrs. Funny Bones as well by Twinkle Khanna. Just chill. There's no need to read too much sophistication when you're trying to transform. Once you're fine, then next session I'm going to give you mere dabbe mein jo books hai which are really heavy about Google and about Steve Jobs and about how Apple did and what happened with Bill Gates and all of that. The other kind of books are historical books. If you're into history, if you're into travel, I have travel books, right? So pick up a book which really is your topic. What are you passionate about? That will transform you. Just read something you're passionate about and trust me, it will transform you. Anita, I hope that really helps. So just pick up any nice book that is, your topic, and to each his own, just read that. And you will transform at the end of that book. Actually, in the middle of that book, really.
We have a few more audience questions. Mr. Sen, so sorry, I'm taking so much time to get to you. आप थोड़े bored से लग रहे थे. You were kind of zoning out of it.
I'm not bored. I'm quite enjoying the talk that's going on.
No, so sorry, but I will get to you definitely.
No, you don't have to be sorry.
I'm sorry.
No. Everybody is here to listen to you. So I guess nobody has to say sorry. गलती मेरा लैपटॉप का है. Let's just
गलती किसी का नहीं है.
So we have a question by Nidhi Sharma. Is climbing the is climbing the corporate ladder really worth it, or should we let our brains do the talking?
Wow, that is such an amazing question. And by the way, I think this is the Nidhi Sharma that I know. So, hello, Auntie Ji. If that is you, thank you for being online. You know what? I think what is worth and what is not worth is completely about what you wanted to do. So, if climbing the corporate ladder was just about a title and to prove it to somebody else, definitely not worth it. If climbing the corporate ladder was for you because you were ambitious and you were unapologetic about what you wanted, fabulously worth it. Just go for it, girl. I mean, just do whatever you want. But if it was for somebody else and if it was to just prove a point, then no. If it was for yourself, thumbs up. Just climb whatever ladder and actually reach cloud 9. I would say just keep going. There's absolutely no apologies on being ambitious. But yes, one just point on this is to ensure that you do this without compromising on your self-respect is an extremely important thing. I haven't done it. I'll never do it. And that's just my morale. Ethics and morale in a corporate life are difficult to manage. But if you can do it with that, then it is sone pe suhaga, as far as I'm concerned.
Great, thank you so much. Actually, there was a comment by Dr. Rohit Kaul going back to the discussion about books. He said, I would recommend Dale Carnegie books for this, for
Yes.
I guess personal transformation.
Yes, we do get her trainings in our organization, so I agree. Absolutely agreed.
Right, great. Okay, we have a question by Mr. Manas Kumar. Manas asks, how should one utilize their network to advance in their career, especially from a newcomer's perspective?
I'm assuming you're meaning the corporate network or networking with your past corporates. That is what I'm gauging from this. I think there is no one way. It completely depends on how you actually approach this. Some people approach it by going for a smoke downstairs, going for drink outside work and all that. But I don't approve of those two things because I don't do those two things. But people have different ways to do it. I mean, you can even try those. That's fine. To each his own. Like I said, everybody have their own comfort zone. I think the way you should utilize that network is to actually tell people that you're out there to get another job or to get another role. To be honest, Manas, thank you for the question though. And I think they cannot have a premonition that you're looking for another role. So the first thing that you need to do with any of your networks is to say that main available hu. I want a new role. Do you have anything for me? Or can you recommend me to somebody? This is my profile. What do you think I should do? Can you be my mentor? These are 4-5 basic things you will need to do to actually tell people कि मैं market में हूँ. अगर आप आराम से खुशी अपना काम करते रहेंगे, आपके नेटवर्क सोचेंगे अरे मानस बहुत खुश है अपने जॉब में, तो वो आपको अप्रोच नहीं करेंगे. So I think you have to be the first one to first take a step. That is step number 1. Select mentors who can guide you. However old you might be in the industry, I have a lot of mentors even today. I'm sure many of us have mentors today. And all of us should. Actually, we should, right? So whenever you are like little restless, you can connect to your mentor and say, oh, this is what happened. What do you think I should do? Or can we have a monthly, catch up? Whoever inspires you, it doesn't matter. If Aditya inspires you, Mr. Sen inspires you, Samarth inspires you, connect with them, make them your mentor, and actually ask them these questions. Ki, Abhi, I'm in this situation, what I should do. But announce that you have arrived and you're there and you're available, and only then your networks can help you, is my view. To begin with.
Great, thank you so much. And I guess for now this would be the question, or be audience questions, and depending on the time, I can forward a few more questions. But absolutely send in your questions. Any unanswered question, we'll forward them to Payal ji. She'll be able to answer them later.
Guys, can we do one thing? So let's put on our audience poll. How many of you want us to extend this discussion by 30 minutes? Because generally we do it from 6 to 7 p.m. So first of all, I would like to ask Payal. Payal, are you free for the next 15-20 minutes?
I am, yes. I did say that I was on holiday today, so I'm good.
Great. So Payal is free, guys. If you want this discussion to be extended, because I see a lot of audience questions, I don't think we have been able to answer as many as we should. And I think this is a great opportunity. We have Payal with us answering all the questions with so much insight and so much thought. So I would definitely request you to tell us if you want this discussion to be extended by 30 more minutes. I think we can answer many more audience questions. So yes, with that, back to you, Samant. Or maybe Mr. Sen, I think, wants to ask a few questions.
Just
Samant is the boss.
No, just one last question before I get you, Mrs. Sen.
No problem.
Mr. Sen is going to come out of Zoom and he's going to kill me.
Okay, Pushkar Das asked, have you tried, you said you have tried bungee jumping, so I take it you're into adventure sports. So if you want to talk about your life in adventure sports, like your experiences.
So yeah, I mean, I have actually been too much of an adventurer. I think the most dangerous one was when I just jumped in the water in the Indian Ocean in Maldives very recently in one of my New Year holidays, and I wanted to try something different. I wanted to give up my fear of water. So I do these very dangerous things sometimes. Please wear your gear, guys. And I had also worn the gear, so please don't try anything. Getting inspired by the wrong person otherwise. But wear your gear. I jumped into the water. I wanted to do scuba and I wanted to do snorkeling. So I started with snorkeling. So you should try to do something mediocre first and then actually jump in the water. So I was so inspired by snorkeling. If people have seen Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, he's so scared of water. And then when he finishes looking at that universe inside the sea, that feeling that he got, that's the exact feeling I got. I just recently did go for a very fantastic holiday in Maldives, and it was so fascinating that 90 minutes of my snorkeling, it changed my life. You peep into the water and it's a completely different universe. Great experience. Again, I did paragliding, parasailing, jumping from somewhere. I think I really enjoy all of that. It's great fun. And it gives you this adrenaline rush. And believe me, when you're going to start it, it's going to kill you from inside. But when you're in the air and then what you can see from that view is totally worth that entire craziness that you do. Jumping from a plane is my next, and I really am trying to pump myself to do it. And whenever, if the COVID actually allows us, that'll be my next adventure sports. So do it in proportion and only when you're mentally ready. But don't be so scared that you'll never do it. So maybe a little bit of courage is important. Rock climbing, rappelling, all of it. So it's great fun. Go for it.
Yeah, but be mentally ready for it. Otherwise, we'll have to create another meme. I think there was this one which...
don't get anxiety attack. मतलब panic attack ना आ जाए, उतना भी डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. If you're not comfortable,
you remember that guy who did this paragliding video?
Is there a guy who did a paragliding video?
Yeah. He panicked out of all proportions, and he started abusing himself. He started abusing everyone around him. Then he was like, he genuinely panicked. It was one of the biggest memes of 2019.
Wow. So great. So then see, guys, I mean, look at Aditya, the example that he gave. Please don't do it if you're panicking. Just take it slow. Like I said, पहले snorkeling करो, फिर scuba करो. मैंने वैसे किया था, step by step. Don't go crazy. But the third thing I did is actually jumped with the dolphins when they were surrounding us in the boats. That was without the gear. I was so excited. But so if you have the courage to do it, please go for it. But then you are at your own risk. Huh? Don't quote me.
By the way, guys, one more suggestion. If you don't have the money to try all these things, what you can do, try to become an actor, try to become an action star, become like Tom Cruise, and then try all of those things.
And get paid for it.
And get paid for it.
How fantastic is that?
हाँ, थोड़ा long game है, but then there's just another invaluable tip I'm throwing out there.
Or you can climb the corporate ladder and earn the money for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, finally over to you, Mr. Sen.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. And thank you, Payal, for being around and inspiring a lot of people, including me, with all your stories. I just want to finish off that last statement, which someone said, even if you don't have money, that part to do all these things. I just want to say that even if you don't have money, you can do it. And I've done it. So I have checked along with my wife and my sister. So we were 4 girls and 4 boys. We checked from Siachen Glacier right across to Pangong Lake.
Wow.
And we didn't have money. So we asked for donations. We asked people to sponsor us, and they did. So one company who is was in the business of poultry gave us 20 kgs of chicken. Raw
Sam,
chicken.
your video is sort of frozen.
Sorry?
I can't hear you. Your video was frozen. I can't hear you very clearly. Maybe it's my network. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's better now. Sorry.
So we asked for sponsors, and one company in the poultry business gave us 20 kgs of raw chicken. So my wife and my sister, they cooked it, and 2 of us took it to a canning factory, canned the meat, and we took it.
Wow.
So that took care of our food. So what I'm saying is, if you want to do anything in life, there is nothing that is there to stop you.
Agree.
Now, with Payal, since we shall honor the audience more, so I'm going to do a rapid fire question with you. Let's try
Oh my
that.
God. I'm going to hide inside my books.
No. I'm not prepared. So let's see how it goes.
I'm also not prepared.
So
Right.
let's give it a twist. Okay. Number 1.
Let me brace myself. Okay.
Okay. The first question. I don't have the cards and all that thing, so don't worry. Okay. The first question. What's your greatest achievement?
Not come yet.
What's your greatest regret?
I think I have no regrets, really. I just don't look back. I'm totally happy where I am today, to be honest. I'll just look forward. But I learn from them, for sure. Lessons learned, yes, no regrets.
Okay. That's good. What's your favorite place you want to visit, and why?
Which I have not visited till date.
Yeah, which you want to visit, and why?
I think it's hands down Paris. It's been on my list for many years, and something or the else goes wrong. Desperately want to visit Paris. Multiple reasons. One, that there is a lot of hype about Paris, and I love traveling. Very important reason. It is not only the romance, but also the fashion capital. So I just want to go explore. And the other thing that I find very fascinating is that you can actually walk around anywhere over there, eating these beautiful croissants and enjoying yourself, the beauty of the place, and sitting by the lake and the river. I just want to do that. It's really fascinating. It just fascinates me.
That's interesting. Who's been your greatest inspiration?
I think my mom is my greatest inspiration, hands down. There are many, of course, there are many, maybe celebrities or books or writers or whatever, but my mom definitely is the number one on the charts forever and will always be. Do we need reasons, or you just need the name?
No, that's the name. Okay. Now the next question. And this is the last rapid fire question. If you were a man, what would you have done differently?
I don't think I would have done anything differently. I mean, there's one principle I follow, is that when you want to be a feminist, you don't have to fight for your rights. You have to first know that you are an equal. Don't keep crying, say, "Arey, main to abla nari hu." Koi abla nari nahi hai yaar. We are all equals. And in corporate life, there is no girl, boy, auntie ji, uncle ji, male, female. I think I don't go by that. Honestly, I would have just done what I did. Absolutely no regrets. In my head, I behave like a man only. So it doesn't really matter. So for me, no, nothing. I'm happy. I would have just been the way I am.
Brilliant. To all the ladies out there, I think this is a learning point for you, that you got to think like as if you're the boss. Go ahead and make it. There is no difference between a man and a woman. All my life, all my bosses were women. So that's a confession. Wow. So there you go. Right. Now, let's take a different turn over here. Your rapid fire is over. And I must say you've done very well.
Thank you. Did I win a hamper?
Yeah. Aditya is going to give you something like a clap. So that's great. That's great going. Now, let's talk a little bit more about your passion, your not what you have done in your career, but what you have done outside your career, and how has your hobbies outside your career complemented your career. First of all, let's hear a little bit about what you have been doing outside your work, like you have been traveling and all that, and how has that complemented your career? Because there is a notion that if you're studying, you have to study, you can't do anything else other than that. If you're in a work, you have to do only work, forget it, you're focused on that number at the end of the day or the quarter or whatever, and you have to forget about life. But you're one person I've seen, I noticed, that you have done a lot of things outside those, meeting those numbers or whatever, and have enjoyed it. I've loved doing it. Now, how is that complementing your career journey?
I think the first thing, also thank you for that actually, Mr. Sen. I'm so glad to hear that. It's such a privilege to hear that actually. And, I, as a person, it's very difficult to constrain me in like a box. It's very, very hard. Believe me, people have tried. Believe me, they have tried. But it's almost impossible to do that. So I think because of which, I like to do different things, because I feel that I will be not having a fuller life if I'm just doing one thing. Like I said, even at work, when you're doing different things, even for your own role, it's fulfilling for you. But outside of that, I think there are two things, the travel that I do, or the music bits that I do, and the community work that I do and the culture work that I do. These are the four very important pillars of my life. Just for me as a person, to keep me this pumped up the entire time. I think it has taught me so much. It has taught me so much. In my spare time. So guys, this is not really an advertisement of what I do socially. I'm just trying to answer the question. So please don't take it otherwise. In my spare time, there are a lot of organizations, a couple of friends have introduced me to while I was in my work organization, through which we do a lot of community work there as well. But as a person personally, I go and I speak to, engineering students who are not from English medium. Typically people get slotted saying, you're a Vernac, so, you're less privileged or whatever. I have done a lot of sessions with those kids, trying to get them a little bit chit-chatty about English. What are their feelings about how they feel let down and how to get out of it? Those kind of motivation sessions. I've given them homework literally, and they've come back and done their homework. And, we've had like sessions continuously with them. Lot of things around education, because that is one of my real big passions as well. I really like to see people, moving ahead slowly, fast, koi farak nahi padta, but moving in some positive direction. So I genuinely believe in doing that a lot. The other thing is, when we have these, the maids or the security female staff, or people who actually pick up your waste in the morning, the housekeeping staff and everyone, I keep doing some small stuff for them offline, because I feel that they are kind of, not treated very well at all times. The way people talk to them and everything, try to condition people कि यार वो भी इंसान है, ऐसे बात मत करो. छोटी छोटी चीजें करती हूँ, but मैं definitely करती हूँ. And you know what, the other thing is, people think donation तो हम करते ही हैं, हम सारे ही करते हैं, मैं भी करती हूँ, मैंने अभी PM Cares में भी किया. That's okay. That's too glamorous. But when you actually, when you go down for groceries and you're asking your security that, security भैया आप ठीक है ना, आपने mask क्यों नहीं पहना? See the smile on that face is beautiful. It's magical. For me, that is my community. This is my community. There is another thing that I've supported recently is Snevan, which is an organization picked up by a guy who's adopted people whose parents have suicided. So the farmer suicides that happened in Maharashtra, I'm sure we are all aware of that. He's adopted 40 kids and now they've moved to 80. I've started a bit of a campaigning for that as well, but COVID has unfortunately ruined my plans. I'm sure I'll get back to it once I'm back, but material for them is in progress. I'm actually preparing it in my living room for donation. So that is in progress. A lot of community stuff. Really enjoy it a lot. Genuinely enjoy it a lot. So women education and children are my focus. Old age people also. I've done shows, events where I've hosted them. I'm actually an anchor of events outside of my work as well. So the Kalibari events, there are two Bengali people here. I'm not sure if Samant is a Bengali or not, but Kalibari is a very famous place in Pune, which actually does this beautiful Durga Puja festivals every year. I host those festivals with my group called Rangrez. I'm sure Rangrez is on Facebook watching this program, so shout out to Rangrez guys. So I host those events with one of my co-hosts, and we do those events twice a year. We do a lot of events otherwise as well outside work where we entertain people. Sometimes we do charity events where we entertain people, get the funds, and then we pass it on to whichever organization we want to. Chemistry lab being created, or a community center being created, toilets being created for children in school and things like that. So that is one part. So my hosting, my cultural activities are connected to my community in a very, very big way. That's true. Travel, learning a lot from every single place I go. I did discuss about Israel with Mr. Sen and with Aditya earlier before we started. Believe me, guys, Israel is not what people think it is. It is an amazing place. I was treated like a bloody queen, really. Okay, they are beautiful people. They are beautiful people. Please don't knock it till you try it. I mean, we judge everybody so much. So I think, from my travel experiences, judging people less is the most important lesson I've learned. Learning others' cultures, cuisines, food, how they talk, what they do, what they like, what they don't like, how they dress up. All of this stuff is important at work because I work for a multinational place. I have to know their culture. I have to keep, when we're conversing, it helps in communication. So my cultural activities, my hosting, anchoring, singing, traveling, everything is linked to how I develop myself as an individual, which in turn helps me in my work life as well. Building a lot of patience is also another, important virtue that I've gained with this. So yeah, it does help me a lot.
Just one thing to,
and music. You left out the music part.
Oh, absolutely. Music part helps me because we do a lot of cultural activities in the, from the organizational standpoint within and outside the organization. So, we do a lot of singing sessions and a lot of events at work and outside to entertain people. In fact, we do have a music group outside of work. So there is a music group called Dil Se. I don't know if Dil Se is on Facebook right now, logged in or not, but shout out to Dil Se guys. We do monthly sessions. We take a musician and we dedicate that evening to that musician. So we just recently did the A.R. Rahman tribute to the maestro, where we all sung 2 songs, one duet, one solo on a mic and a guitar and percussion. And then we just had a blast. It was like a 3-hour beautiful musical evening with friends at home. And, it just lights up your life. Music is just salvation. So that really helps a lot. It helps in networking, helps in keeping others happy. Smiles on faces, freshens you up, no stress. Obviously, good at work on Monday, back with all the energy. So that's impact on work.
So you're going to make everybody smile today. So you're going to sing a song. And what's your favorite song?
You're going to sing it?
You are. But what's your favorite song?
Oh my, I have so many. I'll sing an old one though. I know that there might be younger people here. Please don't get bored. I'll just sing 2 lines. But Bengalis are genuinely blessed with music. Please don't judge me. I'm actually not a singer, but I just love singing. It's just my passion, okay?
I'll mute my mic, then I can't hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Wow, this is so hard. Okay. All right. कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है कि जैसे तुझको बनाया गया है मेरे लिए, कि जैसे तुझको बनाया गया है मेरे लिए, तू अब से पहले सितारों में बस रही थी कहीं, तुझे ज़मीं पे बुलाया गया है मेरे लिए। कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है।
You are actually a very good singer.
That was absolutely over the top.
Thank you.
Really, it was over the top. It filled my heart, and I'm sure it filled everybody's heart, whoever's there in the audience. Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
So Ravisha Karia says, can we have one song, please? I think we fulfilled your request, Ravisha. So please let us know how did you find the song.
Now, what I'm going to do is with Kabhi Kabhi, I'll hand over to Samant to answer Kabhi Kabhi the questions that are coming through from the audience. So let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Sen. That was so much fun. You were such a delight to talk to. Yeah, thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you, Payal. You made all the difference.
You, all of us.
Together. All of us. Okay. Okay. The audience made all the difference. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yes.
Samant, that's all yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. What can I say? Okay, how can I top this? Like, discussion itna high pe hai. How can we top this now? First of all, actually, I wanted to say something. When you were talking about, speaking to people who work for you, maids, security guards, or all these people, how even though you give them money, but it's not money they're actually being satisfied for. So actually, I've studied in an international school for like maybe a few years. Government में भी पढ़ा है, international में भी पढ़ा है. But then what I've seen is international schools में obviously there are all these rich kids, rich families, rich parents, and the people like bus drivers, conductors, and the ayahs, and the people who do the cleaning, they serve your food. So everybody's like like bete, obviously they'll call me bete. I was in school at that time. They say everybody talks down to us just because they have a lot of money. But your family, whenever they come to drop me at my house, like you actually talk to us as if we are your equals, and you don't talk down to us, and that's what makes a difference. It's not like how much donation you're giving, or or what kind of special meals you're offering to them, or some kind of party. It's just like just treat them as equals. Speak to them in the same way that you would speak to a friend. So I guess I just wanted to put that out there.
Just be human, guys. Just be human. And by the way, someone government school.
Yeah, I've moved around 6 to 7 schools.
So very proud of my government school. They have taught me everything I know today. The way I talk today is all my school, my teachers, and everybody. Very proud of my government school.
Yeah, I can't necessarily say I'm proud of any particular school because I've been moving every 1 or 2 years. I'm proud of school. The school.
Okay.
The school. Firstly, this was a question by Vinayak. I think this was the very first question. Vinayak, फिर से मेरे को hate मत करना. I decided to skip it. But Vinayak asked, ma'am, BTech students are going into banking/finance industry in large numbers, and essentially that means lesser jobs for BBA/BCom graduates. Do you see this as a problem? And if so, what's your advice to the commerce aspirants?
Okay, guys, I'm a commerce student. I can certainly give you that advice. Actually, do you really even want to be in that field? Now, the question is, do you want to be in the banking field? And if yes, and if you're good enough in your interview, you will get through anyway. So I think generalizing that because BTech के बच्चे, technology में जा रहे हैं या banking में जा रहे हैं doesn't mean that there are less jobs for you. What's important is, do you really want to be in banking? And if yes, then you will be in banking. It really doesn't matter. You just have to be prepared. Obviously, get yourself an interview. Do great on your interview because those half an hour are the most important time. That's the most important time. You have to be at your best. Dress well for your interviews, guys. I totally really reject somebody who is dressed shabbily. Just I know I'm digressing, but that's an important one. For me as an interviewer, that's really important. But guys, I think, your qualifications are obviously achieved with so much of hard work. And, you've learned so much through the years, and, you guys have these modern education methods and you're so lucky. Trust me. I mean, that is not a privilege that everybody else gets. So don't think in this manner. Don't create this negative thing even before you jump into the sector. कुछ नहीं negative हुआ है. पहले try तो करो. तो jobs हैं, everybody will get that job. But first, do away with this negative attitude कि B.Tech जा रहा है तो commerce क्या करेगा? अरे commerce है ना इधर.
I want to add on to this. I myself am a BCom. I'm a Bachelor of Commerce. And in India, we have this tendency of looking down on Bachelor of Commerce and all these people.
Exactly.
We believe in India that the tech guys are the brainy guys. So when I went abroad and from the Western world, this is what I learned. Guys, the top marks are required for medical. Very close to that is people who want to pursue Bachelor of Commerce.
Very true.
Bachelor of Commerce around the world, whether it be in the US, Canada, UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, any part of the Western world, Bachelor of Commerce requires you to have the highest competitive marks in your higher secondary school leaving, whatever it is. Technology is way down. It's way, way down. The one that is higher than both medical and Bachelor of Commerce is actuarial science, which is to deal with insurance, which is again something based on commercial grounds. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, all of you out there, what I learned was when people heard that I am a Bachelor of Commerce with an honors, they said, wow, you're a wizard.
Yeah.
I said, like, what the hell? What is this?
That's amazing.
It is amazing, guys. And the reason why B.Tech, and I know, and I have a lot of friends who are out from IIT, all of them are working in Wall Street in one of these big financial organizations, or they're working in one of these other investment bankers.
Yeah.
The reason they go is for two reasons. One is not because they're very brainy or something, because they understand mathematics, which is required. In finance or in commerce, you need to understand maths, basic maths. And the second thing is the commerce people earn the most.
Yeah. That's what my dad said when he brainwashed me. That's what he said.
Hands down. They earn the most. Without
no offense to anybody, guys, but don't downgrade yourself saying ki, ye kahan ja raha hai, kahan ja raha hai. You just need to find your passion in life. If you really want to be a banker, you will be a banker. Don't worry. If you're worth it, if you do your best, you work hard, you will be there. It's okay. I mean, don't build this unnecessary stress around yourself. Be positive. Approach it with a positive attitude. There are lots of jobs in India. Trust me, guys. Don't be negative about this. Just follow your dreams and you will get there. Just stay positive about it.
And remember, commerce people are the brainiest in the world, right? Okay.
Oh.
So sorry Aditya about that, but
no sir, it's all. I think coming from a senior finance professional who has worked in IT also, I think your opinion actually holds a lot of weight in this. And
in IT, if you look at the IT, what India does, all these TCSs and Cognizants and Infosys and all that, 75 to 80% of their business is from financial sector.
Right. So guys, don't sorry for getting caught up. Don't underestimate yourself, and go ahead with whatever you want to do and full power. So Samant, really sorry, I would like to snatch your job for a while. So I think there's a really interesting audience question, and I was really itching to get on to that. This is a question by Shashank Lipate, and he asks, after COVID, what changes will we be seeing in Indian businesses?
I think we need to restart the Indian businesses. So I don't think there can be any change except the fact that we need to build everything again. So I think right now, I think there is a PM address that's happening tomorrow at 10, where he is going to start something in the economy with regards manufacturing. We'll not know what it is until he announces it. But I think the change is definitely going to be that people are going to be very hesitant, right? So because the market is very, very down right now, I think investors are going to be very worried. And I think till COVID is not either, I can't say cured, but till we don't find a vaccine or some kind of a static cure, and the scare goes away. Till that time, I think things are just going to be a little dull. It's going to take us a while to get back, guys. So if you remember the recession of 2008, the Lehman fallout that happened, that time as well, investors were so worried about how they're going to get back into the market. It will definitely impact the market. It should. I mean, obviously, we are all bloody in a lockdown, guys. I mean, definitely. So the difference is there is no market right now. And it's going to be revived. It needs to actually start slowly but surely. So I think the difference is definitely going to be a little bit of a hesitance and a bit of a scare, I would say. But apart from that, Indians are, and no offense to anybody overseas, but Indians are very resilient with all of this stuff, to be honest, right? We have this thing ki, साथ ही हाथ बढ़ाना, एक अकेला थक जाएगा मिलकर बोझ उठाना, तो हम तुम्हारे साथ है आगे बढ़ो टाइप्स, so हम होंगे कामयाब वाली जो एक हमारी जो spirit है, वो important है, but just keep up that spirit. But yes, there's going to be definitely a slow up in the market. I mean, don't expect any magical fairies to come or a pump up of crores of hundreds of crores in the market. We are going to have a dim year, and just be prepared for it. I know it's terrible for me to say this so brutally. Unfortunately, it's just #facts. Sorry about that.
So guys, I think with #facts, I think also we need to reflect upon something Mr. Sen said in his podcast, and he was our first guest. So he said that we need to unlearn and relearn. And I think this is very important in this situation. I think whatever we do right now, obviously, might not as much build our bank balance, but it will prepare us for building our learning balance, which in the future might build our bank balance. So with this, there's another interesting question, Payal. Mr. Harish Bavaskar asks, how do we focus on one core area when you are an expert in many areas? So probably he heard you sing, and now he's asking that, if you're an expert in many areas, how can you, focus on one core area?
Is this like in life or in work? I mean, I'm not very clear with the question. Sorry.
In work, I think in work.
So like, can you repeat that question?
If you are, let's say, if you are good with singing, obviously you are, if you're good with singing, you're a traveler also, you probably, you do a lot of shows also. So with all this, how do you maintain your focus in banking, or do you really need to focus on one thing?
I mean, I think I did similarly answer this in the beginning, sort of similarly touched upon this thing that, when you're at work, right? You are at work. I mean, when you're focusing on something, you have to be focused. So I don't understand really a differentiation between singing focus, hosting focus, work focus. I'm just focused. So if I'm sitting reading a book, I'm focused on that book. But I'm also very good at multitasking, like usually most women are. So I don't want to really go in the men and women thing. But I think if you are a subject matter expert at one thing, you can do that for like years together. But believe me, at one point of time, you will realize that you do need to learn more and maybe push yourself to the boundary to see what else you can learn as well. So यहाँ पे unlearn वाला apply नहीं होता है. मतलब मुझे अभी भी payments और banking आता है. Just because I moved, I am not going to like unlearn payments and banking. Tomorrow I get a new role somewhere, which is payments and banking. I might just weigh my options and go for it. Doing different things is something which will fulfill you as a human being. It's all about evolving, like I said. Trust me, guys, if you actually pursue your hobbies, it will help you focus at work. I'll tell you why. Because it takes out that the frustration that you might have. Let's say you had a very conflicting, difficult conversation at work today. Today is a Monday. It's a very, very gloomy day for everybody to work after a long weekend. Everybody agrees with that. Let's say you had a terrible conversation with your boss and you're just very upset about something. And you come home and you know how to play a guitar or you know how to play a keyboard, and then you just play a couple of tunes, have a nice tea or whatever, have a drink. You are automatically going to feel great. So that doesn't mean that you're not focused on your work. It's just that you wanted to let it out. So focusing on your hobbies actually helps you focus on your work better, because you don't have any inhibitions to go back the next day with any negative thoughts. You're done. Your negativity is out. Via your hobby, via your singing, via taking care of a friend. I mean, believe me, the best way to actually forget your worries is, some friend is in a worry, just call that friend, "Arey, kya hua? Main hu na. Baat karo." you'll forget about what your worry was. Honestly, मेरे साथ बहुत होता है. I forget about मेरा क्या problem था, because क्या होता है हम involve हो जाते हैं. So I think involving in things you love is actually stress busting, and hence you should just do it, because next day in the morning you're all pumped up, you're happy, and you're focusing at your work. So that's how you do it.
Great. So I think, yeah, we have finished our deadline. We are at 7:30 p.m. now. And as you were saying, like, कि किसी दोस्त से बात किया तो problem भूल गए. I think talking to you actually helped us, forget any problems that we have. And I'm pretty sure that the audience did so also. There are a lot of comments also, praising your voice. So my mom, Mrs. Shikha Bose, says sweet voice. Ashmeet Karuja says beautiful. Anita ji says wow. And I think, yeah, it has been a great experience with you, Payal. So any last career advice, any words from you before we end?
Guys, just don't go with too many assumptions in life. If you want to be in banking, be in banking. If you want to be a film star, be a film star. There is no occupation that is good or bad. Just follow your heart, guys. It's not always about there is definitely something known as a gut feel. If your gut feel says, trust me, I have always believed my gut. I've always gone with my heart. Obviously, I use my brains, but then, there's always a balance you have to strike. You can't always just use your brain and then just do what the world is doing. One thing that I want to tell you guys, ensure that you don't follow the wrong set of people, okay? Rather than having a wrong set of people being followed by you, just create your own path and stick to it, stay committed to it, and believe me, you will get there. Don't go with these negative news of jobs being taken away. There are no jobs being taken away. You want the job, it's yours, because you are worth it. And if you are, then just go for it. All the best.
Thank you so much, Payal. And thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. I think, we had a very constant user base watching all throughout this 1.5 hours. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your lovely comments. And I think Samant, as usual, will do the last bit.
हाँ, बीच में मैं कोई भूत जैसा बैठ के नहीं हूँ मैं. Actually, the power did go out, so मेरा पूरा studio lighting पूरा गया है. But anyway, firstly, all the audience members, thank you so much for all your comments, all your questions, and all your insights. And Aditya and Mr. Sen, thank you so much for your questions and insights as well. I enjoyed the conversation between Mr. Sen and Payal ji. Like that's why I was just like, आज का conversation, I was just like, banking is not my field, so I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the conversation. Kick back. Unfortunately, यहाँ पे कुछ पीने को है नहीं, not even water, so I can't get up and leave. But either way, it was an absolute it was an absolute blast, hanging out with you guys, learning all these things. So having said that, Payal ji, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for taking time. And on that note, everybody, take care, stay indoors, wash your hands, take care of your families, best wishes, and see you tomorrow 6 p.m. same time with another guest on Facebook. Follow and like Pro Bono's Facebook page, turn on post notifications to know when we go live, and take care. Bye bye, see you tomorrow.
Bye, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Bye.
It was
bye bye everyone.